Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. A couple of years ago, Treyarch decided that they were going to start hiding little scraps of paper on their zombies maps. Now, I'm not talking ciphers, I'm not talking secret codes, I'm talking something else entirely. They are little collages for the community to put together, consisting of ripped up pieces of paper, and they always have really interesting storyline information on them. If we go back to a map like, for example, Mob of the Dead, there is the art that the editor has scribbled all over. If we go back to Origins, there is the premise image, which is so key to our understanding, or at least feels like it's so key to our understanding of who Premise are and what the hell they're up to. Obviously, there are secret scraps in Shadows and in the Giant as well. In Shadows, we got information about the upcoming DLC maps, so we got the location of Der Eisendrache, we got that castle's location, or rather we got nearly that castle's location, the real castle being Hohenwerfer Castle. We also got info about Pompeii, which I'm convinced is going to be a zombies map for maybe DLC 2 or 3. I'm thinking 3 right now, probably. Maybe 2, but I think 2 is more likely to be something related to Stalingrad. And then finally in the Giant, we also had scraps, and they gave us Dr. Monty's blueprint, which is really weird to have because we know so little about Dr. Monty. Dr. Monty's just been dreamed up for the purpose of Black Ops 3, it seems, and so any more information about that character, male or female, whoever they might be, is super duper interesting. Of course, you're not coming here for information about the Shadows scrap, or you might be, but that would be a separate video entirely. This video is going to be dedicated to the secret scraps you can find on Der Eisendrache. Now, the interesting thing about these is that these are not a picture. In the past, we've had loads of images that we've been able to piece together, like I've mentioned, the premise note, the Mob of the Dead note, things like that. But in this particular one, we actually have a message instead of pictures. There are 0 pictures on the scrap itself. Instead, we literally just have this message, and the caveat is that it's written in Japanese. It is not written in English. And this is really interesting because Japanese, you think maybe straight away, okay, we've got a character who is Japanese. We've got Takeo Masaki. It would make perfect sense if this was something pertaining to Takeo Masaki. And especially seeing as we have the maps seemingly now going to be following each individual character as we kill them and collect their souls within the summoning key, it would make sense for this to be something related to not only Takeo, but a future map related to Takeo. Now, before I go any further, there are 2 things that I need to say in order for this video to be really an acceptable piece of content. The first is that I need to give a huge thank you to Kyle Walker, who I've worked with really closely in searching for these scraps, and all the work he did looking for the Shadows of Evil scraps back during release as well. He's done some fantastic searching, so thank you, sir. Great job. The second person I want to thank is Fox Aperture from Reddit, who gave me the final piece that I hadn't been able to find for so damn long on Der Eisendrache, so collectively, you guys have done a really good job in searching for these bad boys, and now we have some really awesome storyline information to come out of it. The second is that I don't speak Japanese, and as such, I had to scour Twitter and look online and stuff for somebody out there to try and take a crack at this and actually translate it. The people that stepped up to the plate and who have done a really, really good job over the last couple of days working with me to get this stuff translated are definitely worthy of a thank you, and as such, Show, X-Animus from Reddit, and Seals, you've done a smashing job. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it, and I'm sure the community does as well. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of love in the comment section of this very video, so thank you once again. Due to the nature of the Japanese language and the characters being a little blurry, not exactly the highest resolution in the world, there are some, let me think, how can I say this? Some inconsistencies with the grammar that we would expect if this note were written in English. It's just phrased a little differently, and as such, what I'm going to do in this video, just to make this as understandable as possible, because there are going to be different translations of this, and if you've translated it, by the way, if you speak Japanese and read Japanese, drop a comment and let me know your translation. For now, this is going to be my translation from Show and Seals, updated ever so slightly with some supplementary information from X-Animus, and like I just said, I'm going to be giving you this in a form that makes sense in the context of the English language. I'm going to be touching it up a little bit, basically, but the meaning will not change. I'm literally only doing this just so the grammar is a little more friendly to the English ear. Here we go, and no, I will not be doing a Takeo impression. To my beloved Emperor, it has been several months since I last received orders from you, and I cannot help but say that I'm at my wits' end. Since I landed on the island, I, your foolish servant, have continued my inspection and recording of Division 9's activities. However, despite being directly dispatched by you, they regard my work with suspicious eyes. As such, I have been barred from and forbidden access to almost all research areas. The situation continues to worsen. The installation commander ordered me to hand over my weapons for the duration of my stay. If he hadn't shown me the relevant papers ordering me to comply to maintain security, marked with your signature and seal, I would no doubt have objected. I have never raised any doubts whatsoever concerning your judgment, sir, but I am concerned that these circumstances may prove a great hindrance to my mission. I understand how important the alliance is for our righteous cause and final victory, but the influence of the German operating force, Group 935, has become increasingly worrisome. Over the last few months, the number of officers they have here has increased. I cannot help but think that it is they who are propelling the plan. Judging by what I have seen, the research done by Division 9 has been far beyond acceptable. In fact, their aberrational methods of weapons research can only be described as abnormal. Not only do they use prisoners of war for living body tests, but they also have been trying to control the supernatural powers of Element 115. I therefore think that if we permit them to continue their work, dark clouds may soon loom over our great country. I, your foolish servant, will continue to watch them and will report to you wherever possible. If the idea so pleases you, I think it's necessary that you intervene directly in order for us to better understand the aim of Division 9's research, and make clear the ramifications of their plans. I hope you receive this message, your humble servant, Takeo Masaki. And that is the end of the message. So it's definitely from Takeo, which is super duper cool. No ambiguity about who this might be from. I like the fact that in the same way that the letters from the field on occasion were signed and we knew who they were from, in this case we definitely know that this is from Takeo, and it's extremely interesting because it gives us a lot of context about his character that we have never heard of before. I'm going to run through this now and give you various explanations as to what all of it means, because there is a lot of information condensed into these few paragraphs here, and it's definitely worth exploring. Obviously, this is written to the Emperor, but it would be written probably to the Emperor at the time of World War II, so this is a different Emperor, and it's worth noting that, to the Emperor that would have been around during World War I, because by World War II, the World War I Emperor has kicked the bucket, and a new one has taken his place. I figured that would be worth noting because of some intricacies of Takeo's story, and I'll be talking about that in a separate video. I also haven't justified why this would be the World War II Emperor just yet, but I'll get to that in a moment. Tak says, "It has been several months since I last received orders from you, and I cannot help but say that I'm at my wit's end. So clearly, this poor chap is exasperated. He has been observing Division 9, and time again, the officers on the island, that's Division 9 and Group 935, they appear to be separate bodies, just like I said in my previous video speculating about all of this. They have barred him and got in his way as much as they possibly can, and as such, he's found it really difficult to do his job." That's essentially what he's saying. That's the crux of the note, but there is so much more nuance to it. It would be such a shame to stop there and say, Takeo Masaki is frustrated because Group 935 are evil. It would just be so terrible to leave it at that. There is so much nuance to this text. Let's keep going. He specifically says, "Since I landed on the island." From that, we can draw out the information that he is seemingly working alone. He doesn't seem to have any real associates that he can confide in while he's doing this mission for the Emperor. And he also says, "I, your foolish servant, have continued, etc., etc." We'll come back to that in a moment because that is super interesting. Switching things back to Pohnpei real quick, we do know that Pohnpei does have an airport, so him landing there in the Pohnpei airport is completely not far-fetched by any means, and the fact that we've had all of these references to Pohnpei that I've been going on about for all this time means I reckon this is quite likely Pohnpei that's being referred to here. One quick thing I'd like to say about the fact that he was shown papers with the Emperor's signature and seal showing that he had to hand over his weapons. I feel like there is a fairly good chance that that was a fraud and that was a cover-up by Division 9 or by Group 935, whoever it might have been that actually presented the papers themselves. Just because of the way it's worded, it seems like Tak is quite surprised by the fact that the Emperor has sent him out on this secret research mission and then has made him surrender his weapons. It just seems a little strange. In my opinion, good chance that that note was forged by Group 935 or by Division 9 just to make Takeo surrender his stuff in case he became a problem. After all, Takeo is seemingly pretty notorious. He was born into wealth, and his family dynasty dates back several centuries, so he's no small fry by any means. He's reserved and reflective, but the war itself, World War II, is a perfect opportunity for him to explore his bloodlust, and as such, there's a good chance Group 935 don't want to be on the end of that. The reason Tak doesn't raise any questions about it at the time, despite having his own suspicions internally, is because at the end of the day, if they've got the Emperor's seal, that's enough for him. He's never ever going to question the Emperor, and as such, raising even the slightest suspicion about the legitimacy of the note would throw him into turmoil. I could go on, there is plenty more to discuss, but to make sure this video goes up today, and to sort of draw a line between the core information, the core translation, and some of the more nitty-gritty details, I'm going to split things up into two separate videos. So there'll be this one, the translation, the information itself, and there'll be another one with the really in-depth little things here and there that we can draw from this text that are super duper significant. I swear to you, this is really interesting. So thank you so much for watching. If you're looking forward to the next one, smash the like button, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.